Hi there! This video is part of our coverage of the 2022 Consumer Electronics Show, or CES. We'd planned to be there in person this year, but the pandemic had other ideas. But since that can be said for many of the companies we plan to cover, it works out. Except we spent a ton of money on the trip that we aren't getting back, so if you support the channel, thank you. And if you're not a supporter, you can find links below to where you can help us out. Panasonic is a massive company with a product portfolio that spans all sorts of industries. That fact alone makes one sit up and take notice when the company starts talking about trying to reduce its environmental impact, which is where Panasonic started its CES 2022 presentation, talking about its Panasonic Green Impact Program. Panasonic's manufacturing operations produce 2.2 million tons of CO2 a year, and a stated goal of going net zero by 2030 is worth a bit of praise, if it doesn't amount to greenwashing. More interestingly though, Panasonic noted that its products account for 1% of global electricity consumption and produce over 100 million tons of CO2 per year, bluntly saying that action on climate change is necessary to, quote, prevent the damage that threatens to undermine the future of our children. The company expressed an interest in reducing the power consumption of its products, though other than, quote, developing new technology and solutions, no specifics were given there. It's a lofty goal, undermined some by later parts of the CES presentation in my opinion. Touting the newest voice recognition system Microwave as a must-have gadget doesn't exactly fit in with reducing consumption and looking out for the planet, but then I'm a bit of a cynic. Let's move on to the cleaner, greener, safer, and smarter transportation-related news out of Panasonic's CES presentation. On the cleaner and greener side of things, of course, there's Panasonic's global leadership in electric vehicle battery production. The company runs the largest lithium battery factory on Earth, Tesla Gigafactory Nevada, which is producing 2 billion, with a B, EV batteries per year at a rate of 60 batteries per second. With electric vehicle demand anticipated to grow dramatically, Panasonic plans a 5 times expansion in its battery production volume over the next decade. With no mention of the 4680 cell, I can't speak to if that growth reflects total energy capacity or individual cell numbers though. Continuing on the battery front, Panasonic is working with battery recycling company Redwood Materials. Later this year, Panasonic EV batteries will begin using copper foil from previously recycled EV batteries in their production. It's a great start and hopefully a sign of things to come in building a circular life cycle for electric vehicles. On the safer and smarter front, Panasonic touted its new generation 2.0 AR HUD, which incorporates eye tracking. That eye tracking can be used to ensure that the HUD remains in the right place in your vision even as you turn your head. It can adjust to your eye level, provide parallax correction, and of course, drowsiness detection. Panasonic is partnering with Fire to utilize AR HUD 2.0 with Fire's AR navigation system that, I'll admit, I found pretty darn weird in the brief demo shown in the presentation. I get where they're going, but I'm going to have to reserve judgment until I can try the system on the road. There's also discussion of how Panasonic's vehicle infotainment systems, which it provides to automakers, can now use personalization in Alexa voice commands, which part of me wants to roll my eyes about, but given that Tesla is pushing more and more towards voice commands over screen interaction and doing so pretty clunkily, I'll admit the idea of being able to have personalized voice commands has its appeal. Not as much appeal as buttons and dials, but appeal nonetheless. Cars weren't the only mobility tech Panasonic touched on during its presentation though. The company has a strategic alliance with Tropos Motors, which produces a range of ELSVs for a variety of applications, including emergency vehicles, last mile delivery solutions, and agricultural applications. ELSVs, or electric low-speed vehicles, seem like it may be a new name for what we used to call a neighborhood electric vehicle. Panasonic has developed a new vehicle monitoring and management system for Tropos' Able platform vehicles. The new Panasonic One Connect software provides information about driver safety, cargo security, energy use, and so on for operators. This appears to be further development of the system that we chatted to Panasonic about back in 2020, and we'll drop a link below to that video. ELSVs aren't sexy, but they do fill an important niche in the transportation landscape and tend to replace internal combustion vehicles that are particularly dirty in their emissions, so it's nice to see the support. Finally, Panasonic has partnered with Totem USA on the first UL-certified e-bike in the US market. Its specs are pretty underwhelming, with 75 Nm of max torque, a 440 watt-hour battery, and pedal assistance up to 15 miles an hour. I'm a big fan of e-bikes and own 2 myself, but I'm not entirely sure what the point of this one is. The design is pretty humdrum, the specs don't seem terribly impressive, and I'm just not sure why it warranted inclusion in the CES presentation. Still, it's out there, and the more e-bike options, the better. So there you have it. Nothing super groundbreaking from Panasonic this year, but it's a company that plays a huge role in our technology-oriented society, and especially in the EV space. If it can come through with its plans to decarbonize its operations and quintuple its EV battery production, that'll be a great thing. That's it for today. If you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to leave your thoughts below or in our free-to-join Discord chat room. I'll post a link in the video description. If you haven't already, make sure you've subscribed to this channel and our other channel, Transfer Evolved Take 2, for longer takes. And don't forget to give the bell a little ring on both our channels so you don't miss our next video. Thanks on behalf of the entire T crew go out to the folks on our right for being our $15 to $49 a month patrons. Special thanks to our $50 a month patrons, Chris Maxwell, Brian Newton, Jason Boder, Dave Kitchen, Michael Goad, Ricky Leong, Andrew Martin, Guido Jahada, Brophy Wolf, Tesla Nagong, Gordon C., Stephen O'Donohue, Kyle Hodson, Anthony Coates, Regine Fellows, Rory Litwin, Anonymous Freak, Jim Burness, and Denny Hyde. And our deepest gratitude to our $100 a month Patreon supporters, Marcel Ward, Reggie Watts, Joe Bresney, JP Fagerback, Will Graylin, Matthew Drobnak, John Lyons, Christopher Lee Jones, Laura Reynolds, Paul Conway, Ellery Hensley, and Ian. Feeling left out? You can join our Patreon at the link below, or show us your support through Bitcoin, Ko-fi, or our cool swag store. Thanks for joining me, and as always, keep evolving!